Ooh, hello everyone, and welcome to a morning chat. Today we're going to be talking about a man by the name of Taylor the Fiend. He has been on YouTube for about at least 3 years, going on his fourth year now. He has, well, let's just show you what we got. Wrong screen. As you can see here, he's got 1.3 thousand videos, 305,000 subscribers, 1.3 thousand video, 1.3 thousand videos, 1.3 thousand videos. All right. Now, why is that important? That's very prolific. I mean, he's gone back over 3 years. And just 3 years, if you go, how many videos are in 3 years? Yeah, he's been doing this for pretty much 4 years now. Because the first year, 3 years ago plus, that's how it works. It's a lot, and I would suspect highly, because a lot of these videos are 11 minutes, 11 minutes. A lot of those older ones, 13 minutes, 11, 11. The one we're going to be doing today is about 30 minutes. But as you see, over time, gradually, they started getting more and more. 32 minutes, 30 minutes. It's 28 minutes, 25 minutes, 24 minutes, 22 minutes. It's almost like a very linear progression of the amount of time based on probably his experience. As he's gaining experience, the amount of time that that he's been doing these the videos have increased in length. 28, 37 minutes. We're at 1 year ago, 26 minutes, 23. So he's keeping it over 20 minutes as a general rule now, usually averaging around 25 minutes, it looks. Every once in a while I got a 2020, so blah, blah, blah. You see, but you notice, like I said in my other video, they're all pretty much almost rubber stamped thumbnails, which means that they're pretty much rubber stamp videos. Now, I rubber stamp my thumbnails for my Population Uno Twitch and YouTube, and I don't really do it for Mandemikc. It's more long form, casual. So people don't want to. I don't want to do this. I want it to be. I want it to be a just more of a casual thing, and people want to come in and look at it and listen to me. Like what happened yesterday when I did a stream, somebody came in right at the point where I was disagreeing with something a female said on there, so they automatically thought that I was 100% wrong, that everything I said was wrong, and they listened to me for about 3 minutes. They didn't watch the whole video, and in the whole video, it shows that I am, when it comes to this content, this type of content, you can see on the left-hand side, I got the wall, modern dating. Let's see, can I move that over a little bit? Modern dating here, HL Talk, Pearl, Manosphere Daily. Now, I do not promote these. I guess I kind of am by critiquing them, but I don't agree with them. Most of the time, they're just a monstrous, like this guy, what we're watching today is 33 minutes of red flag, of men not understanding relationships, and the men not understanding conversations, and in turn, not understanding women. So we don't start at men not understanding women. Don't start there. You're basically trying to put the cart before the horse. This is about men and honestly, in many cases, women as well. And you'll see me talk about that. Men not understanding how relationships work. They don't understand the opposite sex because they were either never taught or never had the opportunity, or were taught and decided to ignore and not listen to good advice. But in most cases, I will fully admit that most men especially do not get good advice as far as dating, whether they be straight or gay or whatever. It doesn't matter. They just don't get good advice. So they go out into this world absolutely blind and looking like idiots, and rightfully so, because they are ignorant to how to behave around the partners that they want to attract. So let's go to the top, because the one I'm going to do, it's a same day unboxing, if you will, a same day critique. We're going to be going through this one here. Women has a meltdown after realizing Chad won't commit to her. Now, it says here, I've watched the whole video. I don't know why it does that. I've watched about 30 seconds of it, and I did it for two reasons. One, to see just kind of his platform. Already figured it out. Didn't take long. And also, I wanted to check out my recording. I wanted to change my audio. My audio has been atrocious. I got a bit of a deeper voice, and when I'm not excited, my voice kind of drops way down. So I added an equalizer onto my OBS to kind of drop those lows and increase the highs and the mids. So hopefully, and also by doing that, I was able to push my mic back a little bit. I talk like this because I want people to know what kind of gear I have, at least to some degree, so then they can create they can, if they have questions, they can ask me, or they're like, oh, that's what you did. I got a bassy, boomy voice too. And it was kind of obnoxious when I played. Also, because I was able to drop my mic back a bit, I'm able to get my keyboard right where I want it, where I could see everything, including my mouse. All right. Enough about me just talking too damn fast. Let's get into here. Let's get into the video and we'll discuss it. If you don't already know how I work, I talk a hell of a lot. I'm learning to condense over time. It's going to take a while. The person, primarily woman, the woman says something, then the host, which would be Taylor the Fiend, this time has a response. I might respond in between when the woman talks, or when Taylor the Fiend talks, I might pause, say something, or I might just wait till the end. If it's a very short thing, if it's a long one, I'll probably pause in between. This is why I like this type of open chat. Now, right now, as airing in this video, I don't have a lot. I have 1 follower. So this isn't a great thing, but I'm not also concerned yet either, because I'm learning how to do this format and this practice. So getting a whole bunch of people in my chat at once sounds great, but then I won't be able to answer. I'll feel overwhelmed and bombarded. And I don't want that. I want to build up my confidence on how to record, how to display myself, and how to behave, basically, and fine tune my skills as far as critiquing. So let's get into it.
And on our first date, we both established that we are not looking to be casual. We are looking for a person. So that conversation hasn't come up since. And I feel like by like the 2-month mark, you kind of know if you're ready to invest in someone or not.
We'll stop right there. This is so you can get used to me. It's true. There's nothing wrong with taking 2 months. At the very beginning, here's where kind of the catch was. At the very beginning, she said, I'm not looking for playing. I'm not looking for being out on the field. I don't want to be for the streets. I want to find a man, and I want to be monogamous. Now, what does that mean? It means 2 things. One, we are now a boyfriend, girlfriend, and there's no cheating. There's no playing the field. Or we aren't yet boyfriend and girlfriend, but we're monogamous towards this. So we are in a relationship, but it's a very casual, getting to know each other relationship. This woman primarily said, that's pretty much what she said, is I want to be in a relationship, but right now we're just figuring it out, but I want to be monogamous. We'll go back. Tell me if I'm wrong. Go back to the beginning.
We are not looking to be casual. We are looking for a person. So that conversation hasn't come up since. And I feel like by like the 2-month mark, you kind of know if you're ready to invest in someone or not.
The way she described it here might not have been exactly how she described it when she talked to the man. But if it was, then she being, the part of the conversation, half of the conversation, it doesn't look like they really hammered it out. They really got down to the brass tacks and look, this is what I want. We don't have to be committed, but we have to be monogamous because we're figuring this out. If she said it back then, like she did now, then I don't believe it was fully set. I believe she did unknowingly possibly set herself up for disappointment. It also is a very easy out for the man or the opposite sex. Maybe it was a man talking here and it was a woman that decided she still wanted to see other people. It was an easy out for the man to say, whoa, I understand what you said before, but we never really talked about this afterwards. This wasn't something we really properly committed to. It's an escape strategy that he could have very easily used. And so this is where it comes back to communication. You'll always hear me talk about communication. Everybody needs to communicate, not just talk. Communicating means you pass the ideas along. You get that they get it, and maybe even have feedback on that communication. That's real communication. It's like, look, I just told you this. Do you understand? If not, there's nothing wrong with saying that. In fact, ask the person. Once they know where you're coming from, they're not going to be insulted by you wanting to get clarity. They get clarification on exactly what it is you said. Repeat it if you have to. Say it out loud. Then ask them, do you understand what I mean? If not, I can further explain. I have no problem doing that. I'm not pandering. I'm not saying you're stupid. I just want to make it very clear we know what we're talking about here. Because if it comes back,
Guys, I feel no empathy for these women when
Red flag.
they get quote unquote played by these dudes.
There was no indication that it was played. I think he might be right, but I wouldn't assume that. I can only conjecture that, saying, hey, this could have happened. This could have happened. But he just absolutely, nope, got played. Just, even if it's true, he doesn't know. He doesn't have the information. Red flag.
You don't have to wait 2 months. Like, it's so crazy, guys. This woman hooks up with this dude for like 2 months. And then she's like, you know what? I'm beginning to think he might not commit to me.
I'm with my current partner. We've been together over 2 years. I had gone out through 2 divorces, as you've probably seen in my past videos. And I told her, I said, I am monogamous with you. I want this to work out, but I am not your boyfriend yet. 6 months, I said that. No, towards the end, rightfully so. She was like, look, you better do something here. And she knew I wasn't cheating. I wasn't doing anything like that. Just wasn't my, I can handle one woman. And that's about it. And finally I did. And you know what? Afterwards, she thanked me. She said, because she likes to move too fast. It's a thing of hers. And I used to be like that. A lot of people are like that. Oh, this is it. This is my forever man. This is my forever woman. We're committed. It's been like a month. You don't know her. After 30 days, you don't know nobody. After 30 days, you could be spending your entire 30 days down in a bunker, and all you guys do is stare at each other during the day, and you would still not know someone in 30 days. So I took 6 months. But I mean, we saw each other, we stayed at each other's house, we met the kids, all that stuff. Everything normal would be in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship happened, except I let her know. It's going to be slow. We're going to do this slowly, right? Because keeping in her mind that I wasn't her boyfriend, it would make her think. It would make her pause, say, is this man worth it? He says he's not committed to me yet. Do I want to go that extra step right now? Because he's not taking that extra step. Do I want to say this that opens up my heart to him? Do I want to open up my heart about this? Do I want to open up my heart about that? It helps them to slow down and make mature, adult, grown-up decisions about what they want to share with that person if that person isn't willing to fully commit. And I completely believe in that. Do not give your heart out so quickly, so easily. Take your time with it. Slow it down. And I did. And she thanked me afterwards. She said it was absolutely the right thing to do. It helped her slow down. And we both are now in a very open, not open as far as sexual, open as far as conversation. We're in a very conversationally open and committed relationship. We could literally talk about anything. Even when we know things are not going right. Even when we know, like, she's been a little sassy. I'm like, oh, you're being a little sassy. You okay? Tell me what's wrong. What's up? What's up? Same thing with me. We don't just sit there and get all defensive and just. So, yeah. There we go. I do like the sound, though.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again to ruin your day with some more horrendous TikTok clips for you. And this first one, I kid you not, we are kicking it off with a clip from this woman who needs for friendly advice on how to have a post-divorce transformation. So buckle up, guys. Let's jump in. Let's take a listen. And don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Literally my only wish post-divorce is to have as good of a divorce glow-up as Aspen Ovard. So, I need your help. Keep in mind, I'm a very low-maintenance girly. I don't like to wear a lot of makeup. I really only put on some blush and concealer and occasionally mascara. I don't like to get my hair done very often, but maybe should I go lighter? Should I go darker? Here's me in the sunlight, okay? Here's me out of the sunlight. I've never gotten my eyebrows done. Do I need to get them done? I don't even know where to begin with that.
You already know, guys, that half of these women are entering into these marriages with the intention of just leaving the guys anyway. This woman...
Seriously, red flag. I mean, he's already assuming that most women go into a relationship like this because she has a typical look. This beach Barbie slash, oh, hey, how you doing? Ditzy, nothing in her head kind of look to her. And that's what he's assuming, because I could see what he's assuming. It's she looks like, hey, I just got through a divorce. I'm really happy. I want to glow up. That's not really the case, is it? We know nothing about this one. We don't know how long they went through a separation. We don't know how long they went through a divorce. We don't know if it was bad. I mean, chances are the way she's acting, behaving, it wasn't like he was abusive, beater kind of thing. But we still don't know that. I'm only assuming that. And I'm telling you, I'm assuming that. He's already saying, she went in just to get out. It's like, what does that even mean? What the hell does that even mean? Because he has no clue what's going on. Big red flag. I should get red flags. I should get them. I'm going to see if I can do this on OBS where I can just like hit a button, pops up a red flag, hit the button, pops up a red flag. Like, you know, not post-production, because then I could do that on YouTube. That's fine. I can do that all day long. But can I do it here live? That would be cool.
Woman seems so incredibly ecstatic to have gone through with this divorce.
Again, we don't know how
process,
long the divorce was.
I don't know if she has kids or whatever the case may be.
We have no
but, hey,
idea.
Screw the family, right? Screw the husband.
There he goes.
Going through with the divorce.
Red flag,
and
red
she's
flag.
out here talking about having a divorce glow up.
Okay, here's the other thing. It's timeline. How long has it been since all the stuff that happened from when she got married? How long she's been married, the divorce, why the divorce happened, all the reasons for her to be where she's at right this moment. And he's automatically just taking that timeline, scrunching it down to this moment here and saying, oh, you just went through the divorce. And now all of a sudden you just this and this, and you don't give a shit about your kids. You don't give a shit about your family. He has no idea about any of this. Massive red flags for you gentlemen out there that you even believe in this stuff. Believe in what the Fiend is saying. At least take what you see in front of you by this woman and what you see in front of you with Taylor the Fiend. Look at both of them. Listen to what both of them are saying. If they don't sync up, be cautious. You might fully be drinking Taylor the Fiend's Kool-Aid, but that doesn't make him right. Remember that. There's no harm in change. There's no harm in realizing, oh, this guy really isn't telling me everything I want to hear, because he isn't telling anybody anything they need to hear. I promise you, there's not a single person on this planet that needs to hear Taylor the Fiend talk, because he's not providing anything that's accurate. He's not providing anything that's truthful. He's not providing anything that's correct. He is just red flagging the shit out of these videos about these women without any context, any understanding of what's going on. That's why I do these videos, because am I piggybacking off of other influencers? Yes and no. What's happening is, this is my main purpose. These influencers are throwing out all these videos. I mean, he's throwing out in 4 years, 1.3, he's throwing out 300 a year. Okay. This guy that's not even showing his face. You don't know who or what he is. I mean, you don't know who I am, because good, but I also have population uno. So I'm out there. You see my face. You hear my voice. It's unedited, other than the slight filtering to get the boominess away. But other than that, this is my voice. This is my visage, all gorgeousness of it. These kind of people, a lot of these kind of people show nothing. They don't show their face. Sometimes their voices are enhanced or modified. And he throws out 300 a year. This guy has a true agenda. He's part of the what's his name? Anthony Tate. Is that right? Oh, Andrew Tate. He's part of the Andrew Tate Club. Just wants to pump all this disinformation out there to get other men to join this, because he's whatever he is. He could be jaded. He could be hurt. He could not be. He could just be an influencer wanting to make money, and he's trending on this because he can give two shits about humanity. He can give two shits about men. We don't know. We don't know any of that. But what we do know is this guy is red flagging the hell out of this. And he's absolutely not healthy for anybody to listen, or at the minimum to follow. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with what I'm saying. I'm not picking back off. Let's go back to that. I'm not picking back off of him. What I'm doing is, if he's able to get out there and influence that many people with this rhetoric, there should be some checks and balances. Absolutely. There should be some people out there critiquing it and saying, oh, hold on. What about this? What about that? I don't care if it's me. I just know that I really don't see a lot of people out there doing it. They're just not. And that's what I want to do. I want to get out there and find these influencers that are specifically trying to influence young minds, young men, to be this way. And then any woman that watches it, any right-thinking woman that's watching this, is going to see those red flags, and she's probably going to get upset and angry and think, oh, men are like this, men are like this, young men are like this. She might. And that's what I'm here for. Hopefully they see my video as well, and they can watch them both at the exact same time. And at the end of my video, if they still believe, then I've done something wrong. I'll tell you I've done something wrong. I haven't been able to influence. I haven't been able to communicate through to them properly enough. Some people might not be able to be reached. I think most people are. I think most people are good by nature, and they don't want this. They just don't know any better. They're ignorant about it. I want to try to dispel that. So my piggybacking off of him only so we can give a fair estimate of what actually is going on, at least by my opinion, what's actually going on. What's he actually saying? Why is he incorrect in what he's saying? Let's move on.
I really do think, guys, that a lot of these women, they go into marriages with the intention, with the knowledge that they are going to leave after a period of time to try and take resources from the guy. You know, and a lot of these women do it as they push into their 30s.
There are a lot of men that are like that. Some men that are like that too.
I've never gotten my eyebrows done. Do I need to get them done? I don't even know where to begin with that. I don't want to do anything crazy, but how can I have a whole entire transformation? Because I would love that. Also, this is how long my hair is. Does she need to be cut? Keep in mind though, I do like the mermaid vibes. Any tips are very much appreciated, but be nice. I do not want to be shredded. I do not have the emotional bandwidth to be ripped apart. So things that are helpful, but don't be mean to me.
What's the bet, guys, that women are going to leave comments and be like, oh no, you're beautiful the way you are, queen, or they're just going to give like really horrendous advice, you know? I think that asking women on TikTok for advice about anything, whether it be your looks, whether it be your relationships, whether it be finances, I don't care what it is. If you go over on TikTok and you are looking for advice, probably not the best place to look.
All right, he just carpet bombed TikTok and all women on TikTok. Go back, rewind, listen to what he just said. Period. Women should not be giving any advice about anything, especially on TikTok. Or he might have just said TikTok. Tell me that's not the biggest red flag. Men, you're telling me a woman knows nothing, can offer advice about nothing? This guy said exactly that. So red flag, should you be listening to this? Should you be subscribing to this guy? Women, do you really need to get angry about this? I would be alert, but come on, this is one guy talking primarily. If you watch all these videos, the vast majority of them are people under 30. They're still just normal adults. They're not grown-up adults. They're still figuring out life. They've got so much ahead of them that they still need to learn before they'd be considered a grown-up. So this Taylor guy, I would have to assume he's under 35 because the sheer ignorance he has on women and relationships and communication and how to decipher and to break apart these videos properly and with a little bit of logic and understanding and not be biased. Really just keep his mind and his heart open today. Look, it could be this or it could be that. He doesn't have that. He absolutely doesn't have that at all. I mean, by any stretch, he doesn't have any of it. So, red flags. Lots of red flags all over for this guy. Let's continue. I'm going to try to minimize these comments more and more as we go by because you'll know what my back feelings are about all this.
Speaking of terrible advice, what is this? Talking stage. So this woman is in a talking stage. She says, my talking stage is about to end and not well. So of course she's realizing that it's dawning on her that she's not going to be able to get a relationship out of some random dude that she hooked up with off a dating application. And so she has to eventually end things. Let's take a listen.
I feel like my talking stage is about to come to an end.
I don't know what that is either.
And not in a good way. Not in a like, we're no longer talking, we're dating kind of way. More of in a we are never going to speak to each other again kind of way.
So it's breaking
that guy
off.
that I went on the 6-hour first date with, the one that I was so excited about. And so we've been talking for like 7 weeks now.
So let me get this straight. Been hooking up with a dude for 7 weeks.
Nobody said anything about hooking
the whole
up.
Thing over on TikTok, just documenting the whole thing from start to finish. I liked how she says, oh, you remember this guy, as if we're familiar. First of all, I have no idea who this woman is. I have no idea who this dude is.
Maybe she has other TikToks that he's not paying attention to.
But she has mentioned this dude multiple times on her TikTok. She's created like a video series saga out of this crap. And people ask me, they're like, Taylor, how come you never run out of content? About. I mean, Exhibit A right here, okay? 7 weeks worth of content out of one woman complaining
There's nothing about 7 weeks of content.
Absolute
She's been dating this guy for 7 weeks.
But yeah,
nothing about
this dude for 7 weeks, guys.
That is on TikTok.
Failed to get a relationship out of him, so now she has to end it. And of course, here's the strategy, right? After you fail to get commitment from a man for 7 weeks, you now have to jump on TikTok and frame him as a very weird person or a creepy person.
Never said about weird person. Never said
Someone's
that.
stupid.
Red flag.
Women do the reputation sabotaging, you see, after they fail to get a relationship with you. It's great. Let's take a listen.
And on our first date, we both established that we are not looking to be casual. We are looking for a person.
Maybe he is.
So that conversation hasn't
Here's
come
one
up
thing that maybe
since,
they are.
and I feel
Both
like
of
by
them.
like the 2-month mark, you kind of know if you're ready to invest in someone or not.
Guys, I feel no empathy for these women when they get quote unquote played by these dudes.
Red flag. Nobody said
You
he
don't
got
have to
played.
wait
She
2
got played.
months.
Nobody said that.
Like it's so crazy, guys. This
That's just
woman
an
hooks up
assumption.
with this dude for like 2 months, and then she's
Again,
like, you know
hookups.
what?
He
I'm
keeps using the
beginning
word.
to think
He keeps using the word hook up, like they've been having sex, like they were just sexual partners. That he's played her, and she's an idiot for being played. There's no indication whatsoever. One, that sex happened. Two, that either one of them were lying. Now it's very possible he does want a committed relationship. He's just seeing other people because he doesn't know which one he wants to commit to. But you've been very clear on that. Absolutely, I am. He doesn't have to be. If she wants it, she needs to explore that with him. She needs to be very clear with him. I need to know if you're doing this. So there is a bit of a responsibility, an onus on her part to make sure he is clear. This is where the communication comes in. He's clear on what it is they want. But at no point does it sound like that they committed to each other. They just informed each other what they were looking for was a committed relationship. I'm not excusing his actions, but I don't even know if he's honestly done anything wrong. You know?
he might not commit to me. Oh, really?
And things are going really well for the first couple of weeks. But ever since Thanksgiving, I feel like I've been the one initiating a lot of the contact. And I don't mind, like, letting someone know that I want to talk to them and that I want to see them. But when that starts to become imbalanced, when I start to feel like I'm the only one showing any interest, then it's not so good. Because now I'm sitting here with anxiety.
It's true.
So this past weekend, he was kind enough to drive me 3 hours away to pick up my new car that I'm very excited about. And we stayed in the city where the car was with a friend of his because he used to live there. And I told him Saturday night and Sunday morning before we left the city that I wanted to see him again this week before he leaves for the holiday. And we got back into town. And I sent him a message Sunday night about something, and he responded Monday morning, and I sent a question back. And he has not texted me since. And today's
All right, he's leaving. That's obvious. If there's a song out there, country song, if he wanted to, he would. Generally, it's true. If a man is interested in you, you'll know it because his interest is towards you. If his interest moves away from you for longer periods of time or very obtuse reasons like this, she said she wanted to see him before the holidays, before he left for the holidays. I assume, because she isn't coming back with the response to his response on that, I assume he said, yeah, absolutely. Because she would have, chances are she would have mentioned that. He's got his foot out the door.
It's Thursday.
That doesn't mean she has to know that. What I mean by that is maybe she hasn't had this kind of situation happen before. Now, Taylor's going to say she's an idiot. She should have known better. Well, how do you know? We don't know this woman's experiences. We don't know anything about her. So we can only assume what we want to assume. I would assume that she's probably never had this before, and this is fairly new for her, that this kind of thing happens where he's slowly out the door and this woman has not seen how a man exits. This is very much how a man exits. It's not the only way, but it is a way that we exit. We just slowly drift away, hoping that they drift away too. Men don't need to have closure. And it sounds like this guy doesn't need it either. He's just trying to close the door slowly while talking to, no, I'm sorry. I got. Oh.
And in my head, I'm going, okay, I told you twice. I made it very clear that I wanted to see you again.
Holy hell. So let's just pause it here, guys. This woman is getting anxiety because this dude hasn't texted her in a couple of days, but she's been hooking up with this dude for 2 months.
Hooking up again.
And
See,
this is your
the
sign
constant
that you're
thing that she's
potentially
less,
not going
that
to
she's,
get a
that
relationship
she's a
out of him.
tramp, that she's
Guys,
easy, that
I
she's
don't know. Do
less.
these women need an IQ check or something? I don't know what's going on.
Now her intelligence.
This
isn't about intelligence. This is about experience. This is about understanding. This is about whether she's ignorant on how this kind of mannerisms by this man, how it plays out. He's immediately attacking her intelligence, basically all the time saying hooking up, that she's a tramp. You see red flags, red flags, red flags.
By no means, when I make these videos, do I consider myself the sharpest tool in the shed, okay? The most astute individual
He's not
around.
the sharpest tool in the shed.
But hooking up with a dude
Hooking
for
up
2 months.
Again,
And then
2
getting
months,
anxiety
like
that
2
he's
months
not
is a
going
thing.
to
2 months
commit
is
to you
a
because he hasn't texted you for a
very
couple
short
of days
amount of time.
is crazy. That is, you have to be.
And there is. It absolutely is crazy because at the beginning, supposedly they talked about finding a committed relationship. Sunday, he texts him Monday morning, fine, whatever. You know, he's out doing stuff. He's going to bed. But then he doesn't text till Thursday. Yes, he saw that text. He knows that text exists. He looked at the pop-up, so it doesn't show that he's read it when he actually goes into the app. He saw it on the pop-up. He decided not to because there's somebody else. I'm only assuming. I'm pretty sure I'm right. But I'm only assuming. So pink flag for me, not red flag, but not green flag. Pink, it's purple. Is that showing me green and red? Probably purple. I'll go with purple.
Very, very dense to only have anxiety at this point. Like guys, women do this crap to themselves. If you cannot get commitment out of a man straight up, you cannot get the man. You can't afford the man.
That's not true.
I've said this a few times, and I don't mean monetarily. I don't mean that women have to obviously spend money on dudes. Oftentimes, men, we don't care about how much.
The more mature you are, the more grown up a man or a woman is, the more likely that they're going to take a little bit of time before they commit. They need to make sure this works out. I talked about that earlier. Go back to what I said earlier. It's going to take a little while. The more mature you are, the more grown up a person is, the more time it's going to take. Period. Or the more time it should, at least.
Much money you make or whatever the case may be. We don't need to be bought expensive gifts, okay? What I'm saying is, if you cannot secure a relationship with that man up front, you were never going to get him anyway. And even if you...
I wouldn't want women, don't ever think to ask a man if he is committed on the spot, like within a week or two. You can ask about the monogamy thing versus the boyfriend-girlfriend thing. That's fine. So, you know, I'm committed to trying this out with you. After a couple of days, say, look, I want this to be exclusive. We don't have to be boyfriend-girlfriend. I want to be monogamous. I just want me and you. There's nothing wrong with that. But him saying that he should commit immediately, absolutely not. He don't know you from Adam, and you don't know him. Why would you want to get trapped into something like that? That's just extra bullshit and stress you have to deal with. Let's not do that. So take your time with it, but open communication. Be very clear with him about your intent. Make him be very clear with you. So you got that. You basically got a committal from him, because if they don't say it, it doesn't exist. You can assume all day long, ladies. You can make assumptions. The way he was behaving, I knew it was going to be like this. No, you didn't know shit. Make him say it. It becomes tangible. It becomes real. It becomes something he has to commit to or break. Make him say it. But if he doesn't want to say it, then don't. What I'm saying by making him say it is, if you want it from him and he's willing to say it, then have him say it. Don't force him to say something and that he doesn't want to say. Then he's just lying. He's just lying.
If you did, it would never last. But women will do this crap to themselves, guys. They will absolutely give their bodies away to men that they are attracted to for long periods of time.
What about the man giving his body away to her, supposedly?
From him. It's stupid. It's a bad strategy. This is like dudes going out here and just buying women gifts for 2 months and then being like, one day she'll be intimate with me.
That's right.
No, she won't. And if she does, it's going to be terrible for you.
Don't be played by a woman,
she's still
man.
not going to be attracted to you anyway.
Don't. Gifts only go so far.
Saying? Like, it's just nuts to me, man.
She thinks you're a simp.
So crazy that
she thinks you're weak.
You know, they honestly put themselves in this position. I don't care what they say. They say, "Oh, I've been manipulated." No, you haven't. You just wanted to get a relationship out of this guy. You wanted to hook up with him, and so you pursued him for 2 months.
And in my head, I'm going, okay, I told you twice. I made it very clear that I wanted to see you again, and you said we will make it happen. And it's not happening. And I understand being busy. Like, this is his busy season at work. I get that. But I also feel like you prioritize the things that you care about. So even if I had gotten a text earlier this week that was like, look, I am exhausted this week, can we postpone? Or like, hey, I'm thinking about you. Or literally anything, I think I might still be invested.
Don't worry, guys. She's not invested. She's sitting here making a How long is this TikTok video? 1 minute. She's making a 3-minute TikTok video about this random dude, which again is she's already made multiple on this man. It sounds like, but don't worry, she's not invested anymore.
Even if she did, what does
Like,
that matter?
Holy hell, man.
What does it matter?
But at this point, it is way too early for me to feel like I'm having to fight for somebody's attention or like I'm giving all of this energy and I'm not getting a whole lot back, which is a bummer because I like this guy. I like hanging out with him. I feel like we had potential.
Yeah, of course you did, right? Of course you did, because this is a dude who you're highly attracted to. He's probably quite stable. You know, he's got that
How do we know
busy
this shit?
season at work.
How do we
and
know
things
anything
like this.
about this dude?
He's probably got attention from other women and things like this. Like, yeah, of course.
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
What women do, man, is they go out here and quite honestly, they just chase dudes who they have no business chasing. And then they say crap like, oh,
How
I
do you know
saw a
that?
future together. It's like, yeah, of course you
We
did.
have no idea about this guy.
Of course.
He could be a starving artist. He could be a billionaire. We have no idea about this guy. So him saying all this stuff, did you notice how he ramps up the benefit of being a man or the importance of these men in this and how they're bigger than they are, or he doesn't even know. And then how he's diminishing these women, their intelligence level, their capability of committing to a relationship immediately, do you see the imbalance here? Do you see what's happening here? I mean, this is misogyny. This is misogyny. Not all that extra stuff where a man has an opinion that a woman doesn't have. That's not misogyny. That's just people have difference of opinion. This is misogyny. This.
Of course you did. So did like 50 other women, you know? And oftentimes these women have, quite frankly, nothing positive that separates them outside of other women. Do you know what I mean? Right?
Red
like
flag.
These guys, in their head, these guys are like, well, I could commit to Sandy over here, but Sandy's been with like, 27 different men. She clearly has XYZ issue. You know, she's a womanist. Not really. You know, she's not really long-term girlfriend material. She's not really mother of your kids material. And a lot of these women, unfortunately, guys, is they say that men only value them for their bodies. But the question is, okay, what else are you actually contributing that the man might be interested in?
Let's stop that for a second. Again, going back to he has no idea about her. Now all of a sudden he's subtly implying that she has nothing else to give but her body. He has no idea what she does. She could be a computer programmer. She could be a politician. He has nothing to go on saying something like that. I would never say something like that. Not even on assumption. I could put guesses and stuff, but he's so far off of the information he has. Men, specifically, red flag the shit out of this spot. Go back and listen to that. He is assuming everything to create content to influence you to hate women, to join the Andrew Tate bullshit club. Men, pay freaking attention to this.
And women hate this idea of, at least logically on paper, competing with other women. But if you're chasing a man who has options, you are actively competing with other women. And if you think you're going to win that man over just by confidence, right, being assertive, making some extra money, it's not going to happen. Men don't care about these things.
And I'm not getting a whole lot back, which is a bummer because I like this guy. I like hanging out with him. I feel like we had potential. But I'm a quality time person and a physical touch person. And if we're not in person, then I'm not fulfilling those needs. And so at that point, I need words of affirmation, and I'm not even getting those. So.
Nothing wrong with that. She knows who she is. That's a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, you say you don't care anymore. You say you're going to end it with him, but we're already...
She doesn't say she doesn't care anymore. Everything about this video says she still cares, and it hurts. And she's upset, but I think she knows what's about to happen. There's nothing on there. There's nothing on there that says she doesn't care. Everything shows the opposite. She actually does care. She is discussing this. She is talking about this. She's being very calm, very clear, but not having any kind of attitude or heightened set of emotions. She's being very stable this entire video and very clear about what she said and what she's done, blah, 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 blah. No point would I ever even assume that she doesn't care anymore. This makes me almost know with very little assumption that this is what he does. He doesn't care about lying to you. He doesn't care about telling you the bullshit. To him, the bullshit gets subscribers. It gets likes. It gets followers. And that's what he's doing right now. Or, very slight chance, he's really that ignorant. He's really that absolutely obnoxiously unclear about how women are and about communication and about reading people and listening to people, about taking all your opinions, moving them aside, and trying to actually understand what it is that's being said by these ladies.
Already know she's going to be back in a couple of weeks anyway. It really doesn't matter. These women are like, I'm going to end it with him. She probably, you know what? She probably made this video hoping that the guy would see it so that she could manipulate more attention out of him.
What the hell does that even mean?
That's what I think is going on. But what's even more hilarious about this, man,
we don't know this.
It's quite unfortunate actually, is you'll have dudes who don't know any better and they'll see this video and they'll be like, oh, well, I just need to give her attention and everything's going to be fine. And
what Fiend Taylor just said was, there might be guys that watch these videos and then say, oh, I just learned something from that. We don't want that, guys. No. We don't want you to learn anything from women. God forbid we want you to listen. That's what he just said. Don't listen to women. Don't pay attention to them. They're just liars. That's what he just said about this. Rewind it about 10 seconds. Play it through again. That's what he just said. Huge red flag. Monstrous red flag to say, don't listen to your women. Communicating with your woman is stupid because they don't have an opinion and they shouldn't have an opinion. Like you said about the TikTok earlier, see how he's doubling up here? See how he's slowly planting these seeds to cement into you that women suck?
And then she'll be interested in me. But that's not how this works, guys. Like, it really isn't.
It is exactly how it works.
Like,
you talk to someone, then you communicate with them. You pass along the information. You let them know. You get feedback. You make them verbally say it or do it, whatever the act is or the concept that you need them to say or do. If they can't do it or won't do it, then you have decisions to make. You know, it could be anything from relationship breaking to just what you're going to have for dinner tonight. You know, it's not all doom and gloom. Sometimes just normal little stuff is like, hey, do we want scented toilet paper? No, I don't want scented toilet paper. All right. I want scented toilet paper. You said you wouldn't get scented toilet paper. I didn't get scented toilet paper. I got the regular stuff. It just smells nice, but it's not scented. See, it says non-scented. See, shit like that. There's scales to this. He is literally saying, this woman put that TikTok video out there, hoping that the guy would see it, because obviously he's not seeing under normal channels, and that he hopes that men don't do this, listen.
Just because you go out there and you give attention to a woman doesn't mean she'll like you. In fact, a lot of the times it's actually the exact opposite.
No, it's not.
Let's continue into this next clip here.
Well, if you're talking about dating and trying to find someone, yes, men usually
women who live
knows a lot more than women do.
So this looks to be like a 40-plus-year-old woman who is going to sit here ranting to us about why she's so happy. Let's take a listen.
Do you know women's cortisol levels drop 35% when they've been living by themselves for 3 months or longer? This is done by research by Joe Dispenza, and I can tell you, like, after being in partnership and living with men for so many years now, and now living on my own in my own apartment, I have never felt peace like this in my life.
Loving it. I was the same way before I met my partner. I lived by myself. It was my sanctuary. I love being by myself. I am very happy in my own company. Extremely happy. My cortisol levels dropped. It was gorgeous. It was absolutely lovely. Now, I'm saying I don't like it now, but I still remember and appreciate the benefits of living by myself. I like being with people. No, that's not true. I like being by myself, but I knew I always had to have a partner. So there were sacrifices I'd have to make. And I was more than happy to make those because it was worth it.
Yeah, I'm just, guys, are you feeling the peace radiating through the screen? I'm feeling so zen right now. Shit. You know, before this, I was feeling really angry.
He has too much of his opinion out here for him to feel anything coming in. There's too many barriers. Fiend feels nothing. Let me be very clear on that. Big red flag. He feels nothing because he's already formed an opinion because he sees there's a woman on the screen. So believe me, there's no way anything can penetrate through that force field of hate that man's got up.
Anxious, really stressed out, but you know, this woman making this video, it's just emanating from the video, and it's really, really soothing me kind of thing.
This is not a slander against men or anything. I'm just telling you the peace that I feel right now is
she's
unmatched.
Right. Sounds like exactly what she's saying.
I feel like when I'm out in public, I'm more relaxed. I'm walking more confidently. I'm walking slower. I feel clearer about what I want to do with my future. I know what I need to do with my day. I can work longer hours because I'm not so stressed out and caught up in somebody else's mood and what's.
That's exactly right. When you're in a relationship, you not only deal with your issues, you deal with their issues. You not only deal with your assumptions and your ideas of what needs to be done and what hasn't been done and the problems you have and the good times you have and things you have to plan and all the things that come with the relationship. Of course, you don't have to do that when you're single. Of course not. So she's right. She's absolutely right. Let's see how he spends it.
Somebody else expects of me. I don't feel like I'm not enough. And that's always how I feel in partnership with a man, especially when I'm living with him. I never feel like I can fully relax at home. I love to cry for no reason. Like, I just cry on a regular basis, and not because I'm sad, but just because I enjoy it.
Here's a really good one for you. Men, women cry to release emotions. Women don't cry because they're weak. That's not why they cry. They aren't crying because they're a weak person. They cry because that's how they release their emotions. It's a physical reaction to a mental situation, let's call it. Men don't necessarily do that. So any man that sees a woman crying and calls her weak or tries to make fun of her, that's a red flag in yours. That man needs to be corrected. That's all you have to say to that man. It's like, look, women cry because that's how they release their emotion. It's not a sign of weakness. In fact, if anything, it's a sign of strength because they're doing what comes natural to them. Men, you want to go chop some wood? Go chop some wood. Men, you want to sit there and punch a tree? Punch a tree. Some men like to punch trees. You see it all in sports and everything else where men are out there, rah, 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 rah. They're out there playing sports, whatever. That's how men get out their aggression and their feelings. I don't cry when I'm angry. I don't cry when I'm sad. Well, I have on occasion, but generally speaking, I don't. I cry at Disney movies. I cry when the dog nearly dies. I cry when something... Last night, I almost cried in Supernatural with Sam and Dean when there was just this moment where everything went perfect. And I was like, oh, I had to hold it back because I cry on the silly shit, what I consider to be silly shit. But I won't cry when women cry. It's not what we do. Men don't do it. They're not weak for doing it, and we're not strong because we don't. It has nothing to do with that. It's biology, man. It's chemistry. It's nothing about intelligence or capability or weaknesses or strengths.
What the hell?
See, he actually has no clue about
this.
Women.
Is just psycho
no
behavior,
idea
guys.
whatsoever.
I'm sorry, right? Like
psycho behavior to behave like a woman
because you. What the hell did this woman just say? She cries on a regular basis, and not because she's sad, just because she enjoys it. I don't know about you, gentlemen, but when I hear nothing about like this, it genuinely concerns me a little bit. Like, imagine
he should be concerned about his own intelligence level when it comes to women, his own ignorance when it comes to women.
One of those days, man, where you just don't wake up again. You never really know.
No.
These people cannot manage their own emotions whatsoever. And
actually, she's showing proof that she can manage them perfectly. She realizes she got in a new situation and how she feels because of it, and she's enjoying that feeling. And in fact, even the way she's behaving is very emotionally constrained, very emotionally normalized. She's not being overly hyper. She's not being absolutely low and bawling all over the place. She's not doing any of that. She's just talking normally. This woman, as far as I can tell, in just this video alone, for this video, she's got her shit on straight.
And I understand that everybody has bad days, okay? And everybody, might go through some ups and downs in life. But this just sounds to me like this person is manic. They've got some serious health.
Taylor's a perfect example of a man that doesn't understand about women.
Bonkers to me, man.
Of course, it's bonkers to him because he's still
do that when
just
I'm
an adult. He's not grown up.
When I cry more often, I'm more in touch with my feelings, and I let myself just laugh and whatever. Like, I don't feel as emotionally constipated like I do in a partnership. And
you know what? I'm not going to even say anything to that. I'm just going to keep playing the video.
And I feel like then when I'm in public, I'm a lot more emotionally regulated and happy in life. Sure, was there an initial detox? Like, I felt super anxious the first day or day and a half, and I cried a lot. It's like adjusting to be on your own again. But I swear that third or fourth day, I was like, oh my God, the clouds have cleared. Like, I'm not angry all the time anymore. Like, as you've seen on my other content, like being angry, like I forgave the guy that cheated on me. I don't care anymore. I'm moving upward and onward. Like, I feel so good. It's just, I just think women have been sold this lie that we need men and men make us happier. Because you cannot contest the way that you feel when you're by yourself as a.
Yeah, I'm feeling the happiness.
I don't agree.
Just
Don't disagree.
through the
It's kind of like
screen
that's
right
about
now,
opinion,
guys.
but people
I
shouldn't
see
talk
this
about what they
actually
want and what they
quite
don't.
often
What other
with
people
these
should have and
videos that
know.
these women make,
And what works
is
out
they
better.
try and convince you that they have.
You shouldn't tell a woman she's better off without men. You shouldn't tell a man they're better off without women. This is a personal choice, a personal, this is what people learn over time, what's best for them. Okay. Everybody can benefit from being by themselves if they know how to be by themselves maturely and rationally. Every person can benefit by being with a partner if they get the right partner, if they can act in a mature manner and an appropriate manner with their partner. There's so much to it. It's not as simple as that.
One particular emotional state, right? Like, oh, I'm happy, or I'm totally stress-free, I'm zen, whatever you want to call it. Okay, they're feeling phenomenal. And then they sit there on TikTok and they try and convince you that these are the genuine emotions that they're feeling. And I always think to myself, man, like, if someone feels a particular way, I've never felt a particular way and then thought to myself, hey, it's really important that I convince people that I feel a particular way.
He's doing that right now.
Right?
He is literally doing that right this moment. He's got a 1.3 thousand videos disagreeing with what he just said. We're going to go back. This is worth going back to. Men, red flag liar, red flag, red flag.
Myself, man, like, if someone feels a particular way, I've never felt a particular way and then thought to myself, hey, it's really important that I convince people that I feel a particular way. Do you know?
Seriously. He literally has an entire channel to do exactly what he said he doesn't do.
You know what I mean? Right? If you're a happy person, you probably don't feel the need to walk around saying that you're happy. If you're a stress-free person, you probably don't even care enough to say that you're stress-free. You know, it's like these people, it feels like they're trying to sell you something, and they're trying to sell you the idea that you know, they're so happy. If you're so happy, that's great. You know, I'm happy for you. Knock yourself out. I don't particularly care. I didn't, no, you know what I mean? Nobody asked, but I mean, great for you, I suppose. I don't believe you. But it's just crazy that these women make these videos, and I just personally don't understand. Like, they just do it for attention. They do it to try and make their situation look a lot better than it is. But I don't know. Me personally, I'm just not buying it whatsoever.
Woman, it feels just euphoric. And the last time I was by myself, it was after another breakup, and I was traveling around the world, and I equated it to just, you know, living off my savings and traveling and, you know, not having any obligations or being in Thailand. But I think it was just being alone.
Right, so this woman is a serial dater, been with a whole bunch of different dudes.
We have no idea about that.
Travels alone. I mean, how many red flags can we stack up?
Come on.
Completely emotionally unstable.
He doesn't even know what a red flag
Seems
is.
to go through manic episodes.
Everything he's saying right now is wrong.
Sounding.
Past 10 seconds.
That's why I was
Everything is
so happy.
incorrect.
And what's crazy too is when I was in a relationship before, like, I would always be thinking like, oh, I need to go do social stuff. I like this obligation, like, okay, I need to go make friends. Now I don't care. Like, I feel so happy just not doing anything and going and doing stuff on my own.
All right. As you get older, when you start maturing, if you can reach the stage of grown up, remember I said in other videos, you have infancy, you have child, which is everything from toddler to teenager. Then you have adult. And adult for me is only a legal term. It is not an emotional or a psychological or a mental term. I don't think most people become adults until they're at least 25. Then there's the grown-up stage. The grown-up stage is usually about 35 or beyond. Some people never reach the grown-up stage. The grown-up stage is where you understand how to deal with the inputs. You are logical. You're mindfully based. You know that there's more to what is coming at you than what is coming at you, that most things are a reaction and not an action. The amount of fucks you give are far less than the amount of fucks you don't. I am now at the point where I don't care about almost everything. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that it's not important to me. It just adds clutter to my life. I want to focus on what's important to me, what I can enhance, what I can become better at, what I can pass on, what I can share, like what I'm doing now. That's what this woman is coming to. She's growing up. Everything she said before, she's fully admitted that's when she was in her adult phase. Adults do every once in a while a grown-up thing, but most of the time they do adult and children things. A grown-up does mostly grown-up things with every once in a while doing an adult thing. She's growing up. Right now, we are witnessing literally someone blossom. I know I don't like to use some of the, no offense, but some of the girl terms. She's rising from the ashes, if you will. She's becoming a phoenix, blah, 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 blah. She's growing up. That's what's happening right now. Go back and watch everything she's saying. It's just someone that actually has matured past the adult phase. And I'm very happy for her. Very happy. He absolutely has no idea what's going on. He is so confused by it. He even says, I'm confused by this. I don't understand. Now, I wish he did that in a more inquisitive way. Like, look, I don't understand. I want to find out more. No, he's doing this. I don't understand. So I'm going to go back to my default. And this woman sucks. And this woman's psychotic and manic and crazy because he doesn't want to understand. He's so scared of change. He's so scared he could be wrong. He's just staying like this. And remember, we don't see his face. We don't know who he is. Nothing about this guy. He's just spitting crap.
My own, and I'm naturally wanting to just go to, I went to a Zumba class today and saw a girl I hadn't seen in forever. And we're like, oh, let's meet up and whatever. Like, things just happen more naturally. They're not as forced, and I don't feel this constant rumination in my head that I felt when I was living with a partner.
Guys, I don't understand this whole thing of feeling the need to like force yourself to go out there and socialize with people. I don't know what the hell this woman's talking about. She's sitting here saying that she felt pressured to go out there and socialize while she's in a relationship. Like, nobody's pressuring you to do this. I've noticed a lot of women.
Her husband could be.
They just create these
Maybe
social
they think they have
situations
to because they
and
have
these
friends.
get-togethers. And
Maybe they have friends when they were a couple. There's a whole lot of obligation. The more people you have around, the more you have an obligation to interact with them. So he doesn't understand, probably because maybe he lives by himself. Maybe he doesn't have a lot of friends because, like myself, I naturally don't need friends to make myself happy. There's a lot about him we don't know. And there's a reason why he's saying what he's saying. But to assume that she's wrong because he thinks differently is a huge red flag.
They just do all this crap that adds a whole lot of unnecessary stress. I personally don't understand it. I don't really understand the idea of
he's saying he doesn't understand. He needs to say that a hell of a lot more.
I've never really felt that personally, but I don't know, man. These women on TikTok are just a different breed, aren't they?
No.
Let's jump into this next one here. This woman seems pissed off. He's a princess. So I'm assuming we're going to be roasting men for expecting to be treated somewhat equitably. Let's take a listen.
I always think it's funny when guys are like, well, what would you do for me? And I'm like, what do you mean? What would I do for you? Obviously nothing.
Yeah. I was accurate.
What does she mean?
What do you mean, what would I do for you? Like, are you the girl? Are you the girl princess? What do you want? What do you want? What can I do for you? Ew, literally, what can you do for me? That's the reason.
Yeah, this is a very young person. You almost always only hear this from young women. And you almost always hear about it on TikTok, and it's a very small percentage of the entire population. This girl just became an adult. She is nowhere near grown-uphood. She's more towards being a child than she is towards being an adult. This is a woman that thinks that traditional values say that a man needs to be shut up over there, not talk, whatever. Now, am I assuming? 100% assuming. But unless she comes back later saying, I'm just kidding. I really like my man to want things. No. If she truly believes this, then that's a red flag on her. But men, this isn't normal. Do you understand? This isn't normal. This is what you see on your feeds. This is what you see on the internet because you're spending more time there than you are out in the real world. I have never come across this. And I grew up in a Midwest state that was primarily white people, not a lot of other races, and there was a lot of tradition. There was a lot of farming. There was a lot. That's the kind of people I grew up with. So you could tell in the back of your head, okay, they grew up, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Yeah, there's a lot of tradition, a lot of old school thinking. I've never heard this.
Reframe. That's how you should be thinking. What can I do for her? For her.
No, you shouldn't.
Because I don't believe men were worshipped. No, it was the women. The women, if we go back in history, I know we failed that class. God, I don't even know if we showed up. And by we, I mean you. I definitely went. I failed, but I went. And I know that the women were worshipped. The men wanted to marry the women. The men showed up with gifts. They showed up with offerings. They said, I have these things. I can provide. I can.
Let's be very clear why. Be very clear why this happened. They offered gifts. Also, the father had a dowry that he was willing to give over to the suitor. So there was a lot of bartering involved. So if she wants to talk about that, it was as much, if you would, about possessing the woman, not necessarily about we need to cherish her and put her on a pedestal. The other thing is, and I've read this theory, and I don't know if this theory is so much correct, but it does have a lot of, wow, that sounds logical, is a man can impregnate a lot of women, but a woman can only get pregnant once at a time. So she needs to be more choosy about her mates. Now, back in the past, it wasn't necessarily like that, but she could be more choosy. This woman is saying that that the men sought after the women, they praised them, they put them on a pedestal and everything else. That wasn't necessarily the case. They were suitors. They sought after them because they wanted a bride. So they wanted the prettiest. They wanted the one, in most cases, the one with the richest daddy. So she is skewing history to suit her own thoughts about things, but at no time is she bringing in any fact. I don't even know if I'm going to be agreeing with Taylor on this, but I expect he's going to have some weird ass skewed things that has nothing to do with history, but I'm assuming. Let's find out.
Do for her, let me marry her.
Yeah, see, the thing about men getting gifts for women and trying to marry women and proposing to women and all of these sorts of things, men did this for women who they thought were worth it. You, madam, are not worth it. You see what I'm saying? These women get so confused. They're like, where are my gifts? You should be doing things for me. I'm a woman. Yeah, but you've been with 37 different men.
All right, stop, red flag. I have no idea who she's with. I wouldn't want to be with this woman just because of what she just said. Absolutely not. I'm done. Literally, let's finish the meal. I'll take you home, or you can get yourself a cab. Just because of her attitude. That's all bullshit. No, I'm a man. You want me to be more feminine, don't you? You want me to be more understanding, whatever. Okay, so in this case, both of the people on the screen, minus myself, you take me aside, move. So those people over there, they're wrong. Absolute, both of them are.
What do you think I'm going to do? Try and marry you? Try and put a ring on your finger? Absolutely damn not. Absolutely not. So this woman is saying, hey, listen, because she's the woman, guys, you have to do everything for her, and you as the man, you get nothing because you're a man. Like, these women are just straight up misandrists.
She did pretty much say that.
Straight up misandrists. I don't know what else.
That's absolutely correct.
How does this fly on TikTok?
If I
made a video like this and I posted it over on TikTok and I reverted the language, right? So I just, inverted the genders. My goodness, I would be banned. I would absolutely be banned.
Very
but this
possible.
stuff is absolutely
He's not wrong right now.
And it's totally fine, apparently.
I
think a lot of the reason why women
whether
go
it
over
actually
to
happens.
TikTok in order to make videos like this is, number one, because they're really not banned as much as they should be for spewing this nonsense. That's first of all.
I don't disagree with that.
Second of all, TikTok to me seems to be a lot more of a woman-dominated platform. I could be wrong on that because I don't use that garbage. But what ends up happening is when women post this crap, they get a lot of people in their comment section actually agreeing with them. You see? But I think if they were to post it on Instagram, I think we all know what the Instagram comments would look like. Holy hell, there'd be quite a lot of roasting happening. Instagram seems to be a lot more liberal with its comments. You can, you'll still get like restricted, obviously, if you say bad stuff. But there are a lot more dudes seemingly on Instagram, and a lot less censored words. So I think women like this would get a lot more roasted. Let's continue. Apparently men have to give crap to you because you're a woman, despite the fact that you're not worth it. Let's keep going.
Back in history, I know we failed that class. God, I don't even know if we showed up. And by we, I mean you. I definitely went. I failed, but I went. And I know that the women were worshipped. The men wanted to marry the women. The men showed up with gifts.
They did.
I don't think the women were worshipped. I don't really recall much of this going on, and I did pass history, and I don't recall much of this. But carry on.
They showed up with offerings. They said, "I have these things. I can provide. I can do for her. Let me marry her." That's how it used to be. I don't know. We lost the plot somewhere.
No. See,
I think it was called a bride price. I think in some instances, the suitor would pay the father for the bride because he lost a possible person to work in the fields. And the family that was getting the bride, basically the husband's family, I think this happens in India. I'm not 100% sure though. The family that was gaining the bride, now they would have somebody to be able to cook and clean and possibly work in the fields and things like that. So the family getting the bride gained more. So the father losing the bride would get paid for it. In other cases, there would be a dowry. And I think in Western culture is a dowry where the father would provide a amount of money or goats or whatever that would go to the soon-to-be husband to help them with their family. And I know in some cases, the dowry was a contractual thing where, let's say it was 5 goats, 4 shekels, and a bar of gold. Okay, it would be written in the contract that when they divorce, the husband would have to give that back to the wife. That was a minimum go in and a minimum get out. And they would have to give it back. I was in Egypt. Hurghada? Where was I? I think it was Hurghada. No, it wasn't Hurghada. Might have been Hurghada. I don't know. There was a museum there, and in it was the oldest prenup agreement. And it was all about what the woman was getting back. This is what I came in with. This is what I'm going out with. And it was ancient Egypt. We're talking 2,000 years ago or more, 2,500 years ago, whatever. And it was a prenup agreement. It's just been going on forever. So, on him, and on her.
You lost the plot, madam. Right? Oh, what happened?
Did a little
the
bit.
men are no longer trying to marry us.
I don't know if she ever had the plot.
You're a psycho.
Neither is he.
I like, what do they think happened, man? That just men changed? Men have really been the same. Men have had, the same preferences in women since the dawn of time, basically. Men are really not that complicated. Men don't ask for a whole lot. You don't have to be some sort of savvy career woman. You don't have to be a model or whatever the case may be. You just have to approximate being a normal, healthy human female, and you will be able to get a man. So, you've really got to ask yourself the question, what in the hell have women been doing in order for men not to want to bother with them? That's the real question.
Somewhere we lost the plot.
I'm
not sure when the fuck that happened, but I don't subscribe to the new plot.
Probably.
Okay.
It's been going on for a long time, but I just highlight no fault divorce as a...
She absolutely doesn't have to. If she doesn't like the new way of things, then fine. You can trad wife it, or you can just be yourself, and sooner or later you'll find a guy that agrees with you and wants to do it all over you. There's nothing wrong with that, except if you continue to think that he deserves nothing. Because sooner or later, when he's getting nothing from you, he's putting in all this investment, and you're giving him nothing, unless you want a sugar daddy, you are going to be hurt time and time again. It's you that are hurting yourself time and time again.
Real instigator of this whole sort of thing. Dating apps are also kind of when things got significantly worse as well. You gave a significant amount of options to pretty much all women and the top 5% of men. So huge issues there. No fault divorce, obviously. Women are able to and encouraged to leave their marriages simply because they feel like it.
There's nothing wrong with no fault divorce. It should be everywhere. It just as much protects the woman as it does the man. But in a no fault divorce in today's society, it gives more power to the women than what they had in the past. All it does is starts equalizing the sexes when it comes to a divorce.
I'd say those are the two major.
Many women were left with nothing when they got a divorce because traditionally the men did the work. The women stayed home and didn't get any financial pay for the work that they've done. They got security, children, whatever. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I don't really. If what I said for women, I put words in their mouth, and if that's right or wrong. But now a no fault divorce, can be. A woman can set herself up. You know, look, I want a divorce because you suck. You know, you're beating me. Back in the day, she just got beat. Just got yelled at, got treated like garbage. Now, not all women, some of them, but not all of them. Like women as a whole were treated like shit. They absolutely were not. If so, I think there would have been a rebellion a long time ago. Again, that's my opinion.
Turning points that really screwed people over, screwed modern women over in particular.
I'm back in like fucking 500 BC or wherever the fucking time zone was, where the men showed up with gifts and offerings. If your hands are swinging, nothing in hand, you can turn around and go home. You can literally turn around and go home. I'm sure somebody else would love the offerings that you're bringing, which are fucking nothing. I need the things. I like the things. The things make me happy. They make me say, oh, okay, I can speak to you now. That's what they do.
She doesn't want a man. She wants a sugar daddy. That's what I would have to say. If you ask me, what is my opinion about this opinion? I don't know if it's the truth. She doesn't value a relationship with a man as she does the things that he offers, which means she doesn't want to be in a relationship with a man. I'll bet you if she just had an income coming in and she didn't have to do much else than what she's doing now, I think she would see men differently, see him as more of an option, unless it's something she just wants at this time. Right now, she doesn't want a man. She wants someone to provide shit to her. That's what it looks like to me. And I am not pro Taylor on this one. I'm just seeing her as someone that wants things and doesn't necessarily want a man. Okay, that's fine. If that's what she wants in her life, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as she doesn't try to confuse what she thinks a man is for and what they actually are. What they are is a real human being with emotions and feelings and desires and likes and wants and needs and dreams. She sees them as a big, where she's at, a big dollar sign. That's not what a man is. I mean, a man could be that, I suppose, but generally speaking, that's not what men are, man. They're human beings. They want to love and they want to be loved.
So you're essentially...
Except maybe Taylor. I'm not sure about that. I don't know what he wants.
Actually just a night worker then, right? If people have to pay just to be spoken to by you, I'm assuming, you know, intimacy apparently also would obviously, by extension, only be granted, Your Highness, if the man were to give you gifts.
See, this is why I think that Taylor's a very young person. I mean, very young, under 30. Because he keeps talking about the sex. He keeps talking about the hooking up. He keeps talking about the intimacy. I don't even know if once I discussed it outside, by myself, outside of responding to what he's saying. Just don't bring that stuff up. A mature, grown-up person, that's not a default thing to talk about. But this guy defaults to that almost all the time. It's always about the sex. It's always about the intimacy. It goes to show you, most likely, the age of this person, and in turn, their ignorance and their lack of understanding, their lack of knowledge, their lack of experience, their lack of being able to communicate properly. All of it, just by what they're saying. You can infer certain things, whether it be truthful or not. You're probably more 75% correct. You're above 75%. So as long as you're above 75, you're living a good life. As long as you're 75% correct about everything, not right or wrong, but correct. Look at my other videos for difference between right, wrong, and correct. Or I'll say more in the future. I don't think he's of the age where he can provide stable advice to young men.
So we're essentially just a night worker with a couple of extra steps here. In fact, who am I kidding? What even are the extra steps? You're just a night worker, basically. And I have no problem with this woman's deal, right? And the deal that she offered right there is, hey, listen, if you don't bring gifts to me, then I don't want to talk to you. And I think this is a great deal, guys. You know why? Because I don't want to talk to this woman either. I think that's fantastic. I think a lot of dudes would actually hear this and go, you know what? I accept your deal, madam. No gifts, no talking.
Obviously, it's a contractual relationship. That's hilarious. If people want to do that, I don't say fine. I say, okay, fine. Do your thing. Whatever. I do say fine, but you know what I'm saying? Do whatever you want to. I don't think it's healthy. I think it's a learning experience, and she'll learn from it and probably realize after a while, this is not what I need. I personally would rather have someone that has depth and a soul and emotions, and someone that I want to reach out to with the parts of me that I've never given to men before because I was too busy getting shit. I was protecting the inside me. And that's what she's doing now. She's protecting the inside me. Something tells me she was hurt or she grew up within being influenced by people that also thought like this. Most likely it's one of the two things. She's probably hurt dearly, or she grew up with a lot of people that acted like this, and so to her this is life. This is normal.
Sounds like an absolute bargain for me. If the men don't have to hear you yapping, if they don't have to deal with you, I'm sure a lot of them would be incredibly happy with this proposition that you just made. In fact, a lot of guys see this throughout, a lot of women saying this. We have a whole host of women these days who say this same crap. You have to get this for me, you have to do that, or else I'm not going to pay you attention. And you know what the men say? Okay, sounds good to me. And the men just bounce. They have their fun and then they bounce. You know, it reminds me of this woman right here. You know, this is what you get, man. The dudes, they'll have their fun with you, but then they will just leave. So how's that working out for you, madam? I'd suggest you start collecting the cats now, because Lord knows you're not going to be having children, it seems.
And this is like where we lose the plot so much when I talk to like buys. Some women even pray over their men. Okay, those women are excellent women. I'm only praying over a man that has named a yacht over me and has given me a rock on my finger the size of my fucking eyeball.
Just by the way, I want to make this clear, guys. Even if you were to buy this woman a yacht and like name the yacht after her, even if you were to go out there and buy her the most ridiculous, huge wedding ring, diamonds that would like weigh down her finger, she would still hate you.
That's better.
I just want to make that absolutely clear, because you know, there are some dudes, right? 50,000 men might watch this video, but a couple of them might be a little bit slow and think to themselves, oh, well, I just have to go out there and buy a woman a yacht. I just have to go out there and get her a diamond. Relax, Tibby. You know, just imagine me smacking you on the head with a newspaper. Stop it. All right? It's not true, man. It's not. For the slow individuals, right? For the dudes who want to believe
that's more centered,
that they can finally get a woman to like you if you buy her a yacht, it's not happening. These women will still absolutely hate you. And this is the problem I have, guys, because obviously this woman is really, you know, nobody's going to listen to her. Jokes aside, right? Women do come out here and they make videos similar to this, where they really do actively try and convince men to give away their attention, time, resources, validation for essentially nothing. And my point is, I think that men should value those things about themselves a little bit more. Agreed. I don't think that dudes should be giving dates to women who are quite clearly not worth it. If you want to go out there and date, knock yourself out, have fun. Not pleasant for the majority of men, but you know, going
I don't disagree with what you're saying right there,
attention, validation to these women, giving them gifts, and they don't even like you.
Yeah.
What's the point
of doing that? Though. That's a human thing. That's not a man or woman thing.
Their self-respect, to be honest.
I agree with them.
I'll pray over that man. No fucking problem. God, we're good. We're locked in. He's going to tell me when that guy has arrived.
She's not praying over the man. She's praying over his ability to continue to give her shit. Remember that. She is not showing him appreciation. She's trying to continue the influx of gifts.
And when
I've seen sugar mamas too. So believe me, this is not just a woman thing. This has traditionally been seen as a woman thing, but men do the same thing. Men do the same thing.
I can pray over him. Until then, I'm praying over me until you have proved that you are worthy and deserving of that kind of nurturing. Okay.
How is she ever going to find the proof that he is worthy if all she values is the things that he offers her, the tangible gifts such as a ring the size of her eyeball and a yacht named after her? How is she ever going to know him? Because she doesn't care to know him. She cares to see the shit. And she's going to get this skewed opinion over time that he is the gifts that he provides. So he's going to constantly have to maintain that level. And because to her, that's the value. Again, it's not him. He values the things. How long can he maintain that? Nobody can. She's going to get tired of it after a while because no one values something that they haven't worked for. There is no inherent value when someone gives you $1. There's an inherent value when you've earned that $1, when you've paid for that $1 through your time, through your abilities, through a contractual basis that you provided service. Someone hands you money for that service. You made that $1 on your own blood, sweat, and tears. She didn't make anything over the fact that she thinks she deserves it. See where there's no value in what she receives because she's going to see it as expected, that her value is intrinsic in her. That's not true.
Okay, to nurture a man in like the spiritual realm in like the fucking world that he doesn't even know it exists. That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? We are tapped into the world as a whole, to nature, okay?
Oh,
to the other realms, okay? We carry
something.
a portal between our legs.
And it's true, most men would walk through that portal voluntarily. They absolutely would. Better. Look. That's just funny. That's funny. I like that. What she just said was hilarious. I mean, it's not true. She just basically said women are tapped into everything in the universe and men are just these little fucking balls of gifts. And that's it. It's like Santa's bag. I just want to reach in. I just grab what the hell I want. And then the bag can sit over there in the corner and keep making gifts for me. This one, the portal. She ain't wrong there. For men, the whole entire universe, the whole entire existence, there's a portal. And they want to keep getting to that portal. I don't disagree with this one. That's just so funny.
And you think that I am going to give to you spiritually, where you can physically see it in the tangible realm, and you think you're not going to give to me? Okay.
I mean, that all sounds great, madam, but what are you going to do when I simply alt-tab the video and forget that you even exist? Guys, we are going to be leaving today's video there. That last one was particularly horrendous.
It was. He's not wrong.
I don't even know.
I know. I'm laughing
just
too.
leave
It's
the
like,
video there. That was awful. Guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves out there, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.
All right, we're going to pause this. I don't know what's going on the rest of it. You notice how much his viewership jumped up in just 3 hours. He's influencing a lot of people. Young men, he's influencing a lot of you out there. You have to start thinking for yourselves, man. You can't be using these influencers to say that an entire sex is bad, that 50%, just under 50% of the human population is wrong, shouldn't be listened to. Their opinions should be ignored. Come on, fellas. You can't be this dumb. You cannot be this ignorant. It is an imperative that you act like adults and you go into the adult realm being an adult. I've got children in this world, and I don't want them in a world where you think that Taylor the Fiend is correct. That makes for a dangerous, shitty world. Grow up. You do that slowly over time through experience, through going out there, meeting people, getting your heart hurt, hurting people's hearts. That's normal life. Just try not to do it. You know, they said in the military, when I was in the military 23 years, here's what they said in the military. It's okay to fuck up. Just don't keep making the same fuck up. Fuck up new every time. All new mistakes. Shakira said it in Zootopia in her song, making those new mistakes. I know, I love cartoons. Making those new mistakes. Don't keep making the same one. If you keep believing what Taylor the Fiend's doing, you're making the same mistake. Stop listening to him. He knows nothing about women. He knows so little about nothing. It wouldn't fit onto the word nothing. You can't just put it there. Nothing. It just doesn't fit. I know, I just said some stupid shit. All right. Seriously, he's racking up the views. Stop it. Let's not monetize this kind of thinking. Let's not enhance this kind. I bring this up because I want to give a counterpoint to it. So there it is. All right. Love you all very much. Subscribe. Go to my YouTube channels. Do it. Mandemikc, Population Uno, both on Twitch and on YouTube. Subscribe. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye. All right. All right, guys. Thanks again. Sorry. I'm out this time.